Barbara Caraway is running for Texas House District 100. This seat was is held by Venton Jones, and Barbara was previously in the legislature from 2007 to 2013. So let's welcome Barbara. And Barbara, go right ahead and just let us know a little bit about yourself and why you're running for office.
I am Barbara Mallory Caraway. I am a former Dallas City Council member. As you indicated, I served in the Texas House from 2007 until 2013. And the reason I was not defeated, I left to challenge a very, very noble individual who we are mourning today, former Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson. And I sought that seat because I believe that some of the issues that we talked about that I could do a job in Washington, the voters thought differently. But I am running for District 100. I was redistricted into that district. As a matter of fact, after not winning Congress, I was just going to say, oh, that's enough. But I was encouraged, in fact, almost arm twisted to say, Barbara, go back to Austin for all the good work that you did while you were there. And some of the things that I did, I was not on the education committee, but I spent so much time there, they made me an honorary member of the education committee. I just want to say this about voting, because so many of us talk about, the fact that you have all these voter suppression laws and the fact that people are discouraged in voting. But as we see what is happening even in Washington, a lot of the power has shifted to the states. And that's why I was encouraged to come back, especially in Texas, because what goes Texas, so goes everybody else. When we look at how the immigrants are being bused to the different parts of the United States, which are inhumane. But the reason that I'm running really has three basic principles: faith, family, and fairness. Faith is the institutions that have made this country so great, whether it's I know someone spoke about religion, but whether it's your religion, whether it's your education, whether it's faith in your job, faith in the fact that we are the greatest country in the nation, but people don't seem to feel that way. So as Barbara Mallory Caraway, District 100 will do, is go to Austin to rekindle those issues that I worked on, to show people that, don't give up on those institutions that have made us faith. We must have faith that we can make a difference and we can make a change. Family really has to do with we all want to achieve the American dream. And I was listening to Representative Reynolds, and as he talked about $7.65, well, just as January the 1st, many states across the country actually, by legislation, increase their minimum wage to $15. But really, that's not enough. And it was always funny. What I was to say is that if you work at McDonald's or some of these fast food places and you make $7.65, I have a nephew, and McDonald's Thursday is when we go and spend time at McDonald's. Well, for him to get his meal, his quarter pounder meal, that's $9. So if you're working in a fast food place and you are at $7.65, you have to work almost an hour and a half just to be able to purchase a meal where you are working. And so we have to look at that, especially when you see the cost. And we're going to talk about the issues because it all kind of folds into this. The fact that housing, especially in Texas, you have, and where I live in the Cedar Crest area, houses are now $300,000. In Texas, down in Austin, it's even more. So families can you imagine? You can't even rent an apartment, because also in my district, there is an ascent of multifamily housing, condos. And so those houses going $200,000 or $300,000. So who can really afford that on a minimum wage job? So we have to look at that. So I'm looking at fairness in terms of fairness in the judicial system, fairness in diversity, fairness in people who are allowed and should be allowed to live and ascend in the American dream. So that is why Barbara Mallory Caraway is winning for District 100, for family, for faith in our institutions, for our families to be able to live in an honorable way, and fairness for everybody to be able to achieve their American dream and their goals.
So thank you. And you only have 1 minute for each issue, but what are your top three issues? Or I guess was that your top three issues? Fairness. I got you
Well,
might.
that is, but really, when you fold into that, it has to do with education, it has to do with fair housing, and addressing youth violence. Because we have so many of our young people, when we talk about guns, if we don't get our young people under control, our youth, we won't have a society. When they're killing each other, there seems to be no faith in the institutions, and the fact that they don't believe us, that we're going to leave a society better than the one that we got. And so that is really, really why I want to deal with the fact that education, we want to live with fair housing and dealing with the youth violence. And by that, we were going to address that faith, family, and fairness.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. So, tell us a little bit, Barbara. I mean, how can we find you? What's the best way to support you?
The best way to get me is to call me or email me.
Thank
And
you.
look for me in your neighborhood, because I've already left my pamphlet or knock on your door. So look for me personally knocking on your door to ask for your vote.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Barbara. I look forward to meeting you on the campaign trail. I know that I will be up in that area of Dallas and like the Oak Cliff neighborhood soon. So I hope we get a chance to meet. I really do.
I do too.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time tonight.